If it's like a
2 minutes left.
Oh shit. Oh.
Left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts
right here, right now.
Welcome to episode 15 or episode 15. My bilingual family. You like
Quincy,
that, don't you?
Quincy Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, look at this. Look, straight from Mexico, man. These handmade. Don't be jelly. Don't be jelly. Anyhow, we are back, guys. We have missed some time. We had some family things. We had some work things, some life things going, but we are back with episode 15. To this side, see, this is Adam, right? And on this side,
Look at him.
that's Matt, right? And I'm DP. So I got it right this time, guys. All right. Look, we are back, man. This is a great week to talk Hawk sports, to be actually frank with you. We actually got something to talk about, worth talking about. Got some victories on the board for multiple sports. But of course, as you see to the left, we're going to start with the men's win streak. A total of 2 or dose for my bilingual family. All right. So we got 2 dubs back to back. So I really think that at the end of the day, I'm going back to when we initially started. Well, not when initially started, but we were fussing week to week, and it was not much to say in regards to what the team was doing, lack of effort, etc. The rumors floating around, and all that good stuff. And then all of a sudden, we get us a nice little victory. And of course, we see Missouri on the schedule next. We already beat them. We beat them like a drum. So that was good to have those 2 games back to back and able to get those victory. To be able to go on the road versus a nice squad and get the victory, I think that speaks volumes. I think it also speaks volumes of the players who didn't play. I think that was big. I don't know if Musk was setting a message and what he did, but at the same time, I think it goes back to what we've seen. Like, you got to think about it. We had a loaded roster the last couple of years, and fans were always scrutinizing Musk, saying, "Why don't you play this guy? Why isn't he getting more playing time?" And this type of thing. But he stuck to his 6, 7 guys for the most part, maybe 8, depending on what it looked like, and he played those guys. Now it seems like he came out of his shell, tried to get everybody involved. It wasn't working. And then he went back to his original game plan of just playing a few guys he felt like will get the most minutes and the most value out of their playing time. What do you guys think about the 2 victories in regards to Muss and the team putting it together?
Well, I think we saw earlier in the week, going down to what, like we said, 7, 8 guys, where we've been running 12, 13 guys. Which I get it. He was trying to find something to work, but he got away from what he's done this entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the guys that were in, they could actually get a rhythm, get a flow of the game versus, getting pulled after one shot or one bad defensive possession. So it sends a message to the other guys like, hey, nothing else is working, so I'm going back to how things were.
Mm-hmm.
So, they don't have, anything that's really besides the SEC tournament to look forward to, and then their futures, wherever that may be, whether it's returning or not. So, you're glad to see the fight. Still got some work to do before the SEC tournament.
Absolutely. What you got, Hart?
Yeah, it's nice to see him put together some wins, to see something positive going on. It's nice also to see them with fight, like Adam said. I will apologize. I did hear that Brazil might be coming back, and I didn't really look into it because I had other stuff going on, just didn't have time. So I apologize to people not, trying to put that out there. But I really like how Mikael Mitchell has evolved this year. You could see glimpses of it last year with his footwork and the post presence stuff, but he's become somewhat of a formidable big man this year.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of wish we had had that in the past, this version of him maybe last year or something. But it's good to see him really step it up. Battle, 42 points, setting an SEC record, or not SEC record, tops of this year in the SEC. And it's
with
zero turnovers.
Yeah,
and
that's
it was
big.
The second most conference points by Hog ever, behind Todd Day had 43.
Rodney Clark had 51.
Did he in a conference game?
Oh, it may not have been conference game.
It was conference.
Okay.
My bad. And then you had Mason Jones, who did it a couple years ago, had, I believe, 40 was it.
Right.
Yeah, so it was good to see him get some wins, especially against Missouri, who started those rumors and stuff, and you just get to rub it in their face a little bit more. And I kind of like how Muss and the coach kind of got into it a little bit at the end, having some words.
Well, y'all noticed too, like, were you touching on Makai? Sorry. This little spurt he's been on has been since the blow up with Musselman at Mizzou.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of fans were kind of coming after him, coming after Muss, whatever the case may be. But it's like, if that was the spark they needed, then so be it.
They didn't go out to Travis Kelce when he bumped Andy Reid and they won a Super Bowl.
Why is that?
I will leave it alone. Either way. But yeah, it was good to see Mitchell. And I don't know, I haven't been following his brother at ULA. I did see an article was posted in the group, I think last week. So maybe it's this whole, they've been playing together the whole time. Now he's growing into his own as a young man, and he wants that individualism recognition. So I think he's doing his thing, man. I'm really proud to see him develop. And I'll be clear, man. I feel like Muss has done a great job in his staff in regards to recruiting great basketball players. I cannot tell you that I have really seen players develop over time. I see those guys have decent to good years and then go to the league and then prosper as they go. But I haven't seen a guy stay on the roster for 2, maybe 3 years and then actually develop into a guy that could be a go-to guy. So kudos to the staff. Kudos to Mitchell for doing his thing. Battle went off. And it seems like, I thought when I seen Battle say in his presser something, he gonna shoot. Like, even if the president tell him he can't, he's still gonna shoot. I said, that sounds like some JT Note. That sounds like I got the green light at all times. We're just gonna pull up. Y'all just catch the rebound if I don't make it type thing. So that was interesting to see. In the game that they won, before Missouri. So Brazil didn't play. Was it Minifield didn't play?
I don't think Minifield, Brazil, Graham, I think, was out then.
They say Graham was hurt, and Devo didn't play. Or did he play?
Yeah, he's been back since the Georgia game.
Gotcha.
So I just pulled it up here.
Okay.
So Minifield didn't log minutes. Brazil didn't log minutes. We only ran 8 people. So
Right.
you had Lawson with 20 minutes, Ellis with 26 minutes, Mark with 36 minutes, Devo had 7 minutes, Battle had 35, Mitchell 33, Blocker 23, and Davenport 20, which I know Graham's been out with injury, which he's supposed to be back. I think probably Vanderbilt, which is Tuesday night.
Mm-hmm.
And then they ran that same starting 5 this week against Missouri, or this weekend against Missouri. So, he's found something's worked, whether it's not playing the guys who aren't producing or aren't showing anything or what. But I think limiting it to this smaller rotation is what needs to happen and what's needed to happen.
Yeah. And I also
go ahead.
I feel like, to piggyback on that, I feel like it's building these guys' endurance going into tournament time. Like, let's be clear, this is all we got left, SEC tournament. So it's no possibility to make it to the big dance. You said we out of NIT. Is that what you said, Matt, before?
Yeah, before. I mean, if we win out the regular season, I mean, that could change. But they like going for all the teams that say I don't know, I can't think of a conference. The mid-tier conferences.
Oh, absolutely.
Say they were the best team in the conference through the regular season. They lose the conference tournament in the championship game or something like that. They'll be the ones that go to the NIT first.
Gotcha. Rightfully so. I've seen a lot of great games in the NIT. Guys just fighting to get make a name for themselves, getting some draft capital, etc. So those are always some tough games. So either way I go, I feel like Muss is figuring out what he does have left. And as we go into this basketball conversation, I'm gonna bring up, and I know we don't have it pulled up, and I wish I can give this guy credit. Somebody made a post in the group, and the comment was, this sure would have been nice if we had a couple of returning players from last year. And I went down in the comment section and somebody said Ford. They said Barry Dunning.
I've got it pulled up on my phone.
Well, you are phenomenal, my guy.
I know. It said, please let Blocker and Fall get some PT tonight. And so this was the A&M game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the comment said, I think Darian Ford, Mikael Mitchell, and Barry Dunning should get some playing time. Oops, must kick them off the team.
Who can you get a name? Can we get the shout out?
The comment or the original post, or both?
Both.
Original post, Brad Wooten, and the comment, I'm going to butcher his last name, so I'm just going to go with it, Chris Caviness.
Okay. All right. So if everybody could tag those gentlemen and tell them that we greatly.
No, that's
I don't think we can't see it. We can't see it. So it was Wooten. Wooten was one with the comment. And the first name of the other person was who?
Brad Wooten made the post, and Chris Caviness made the comment.
Yeah, I'm sure you screwed that up. But either way, you sound like Danny West when he tried to say these guys' names.
Hey, listen, at least I didn't for multiple shows call Trey Bibby.
Like Mike did. Same thing. Remember the time we did the show and it was like, hey, that's Nick Smith Jr.'s doppelganger. Same thing. Yeah. Same thing. So either way, man. But yeah, that was a hell of a comment. And it made me think I'm looking like Darian Ford defense. I'm looking like Barry Dunning. I'm like, you talking about the Arkansas State Gatorade Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and the Alabama Player of the Year 2 years in a row. Not sure what they're doing at their current situation, but just to see, just look it up. But I'm like, just to see guys who would have turned from their freshman year to their sophomore season, develop under Muss, already had defensive presence. The issue was trying to get them to score more. So I'm like, defense is one of the things that we really need to slow these guys down. And I know we need paint presence, and Mitchell came on late, but I'm like, it would have been nice to have those guys on the roster to be able to contribute. And I know we had the whole Minifield situation. Go ahead.
Just Dunning is averaging 1.4 points per game, 4 minutes per game.
That's the problem.
And he's at UAB.
UAB, yeah. No, he couldn't. I mean, I knew he wasn't a scorer, but I just felt like his defensive presence was nice.
And let's see what Darian Ford's doing at Arkansas State. He's averaging 10.6 points a game,
Okay.
4.4 rebounds, 28 minutes a game.
Okay.
So 75% free throw, 38% three.
So we could have used
steal. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, we could have used him.
If you look, I mean, granted, the competition is different, but fact is he's still averaging double digits. Now, Mikkel over in Little Rock, I think he's averaging double digits. No, 9.6 rebounds.
Those days
I think that's coming off the bench, too.
See?
And, yeah, he's 22 minutes a game. So his minutes have gone up. And obviously points and whatnot. I don't know. But he's averaging almost 3 blocks a game. It was one of those things that with the issues that, let's say, we've had with bigs this season, whether it's been Brazil going out, Graham being up and down with being hurt and being whatever he is, the black hole. I feel like Mikkel Mitchell would have been a great asset this season to his brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you just rotate them two in and out, one after the other, have them in together. So, I mean, with the way this season's gone, I think they could have had some dominance between them two in the paint.
Yeah. And then let's be clear, we had this conversation before. Then you could put Brazil at a true 3.
Mm-hmm.
Put him on the wing. Let him do his thing. Let him shoot the 3. And let those guys bang it out in the paint. Try to get the boards and kick it back out and run up and down the floor. So it's the woulda, coulda, shouldas. We never know what coulda came of it, but at the same time, it's just one of those things where it could have been a great possibility. Ford and Mitchell have gotten better as the last few games. They haven't been just killing it all season. Like I say, when we look at our team that we currently have, it's the same issue. You know what I'm saying? It's the same situation. I think players grow throughout the season. The coaches learn the players. They learn the chemistry. And I felt like whether it was the rumors and the team coming together or whether it was Mitchell getting chippy with Muss, either way it go, it took something to get these guys to come together.
Well, and with Darian Ford, I mean, throughout the season, he's shown his spurts because, I mean, fourth game of the year, 11 points, 14 points, 16 points, 12 points. I mean, then it dipped 15, 13, 11. I mean, so it's pretty consistent throughout the year, minus, I'd say about half and half.
Yeah. And if you think about it, at the beginning of the year, the biggest issue that we all talked about was point guard play, saying that we don't really have a true point guard. We know we had Devo coming back with the veteran leadership, but at the same time, nobody was a floor general and being a coach on the floor to be able to facilitate the offense and make everything flow. So that's one thing that we had going on.
Well, and the way the basketball these days, I mean, going all the way down to high school level, you know, when you're talking about Brazil playing a 3, and that's just how things have happened as the years have gone on. And I think a lot of that started, you know, kids in junior high, high school, whatever, they saw the likes of Kevin Durant, you know, being 6'11", 7 foot, whatever he is, handle, shoot, etc. So, you know, these kids were like, I'm not just a post player because I'm this tall.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it's basically these kids were kind of like put in positionless systems that go and do stuff. And then we just we see a guy and he's 6'10", and we're like, he's got to play 4. He's got to play the 5. And it's like, it doesn't happen that way, especially as the years go on. And I get it. We've been, you know, beat bad by true big men. But at the same time, if the likes of Brazil had a full healthy season playing a 3, I think that would be a complete, you know, game changer in that respect.
Let me take this off because this thing keep moving. Anyhow, let me get myself together. Oh shit.
Anyway,
there we go. All right, so we back. So check it. So we talked about the men's game, the women's game. You talked to Coach Neighbors on the other show, correct?
Yes.
And every time that I see like one of those national posts with Coach Neighbors on it, I'm the one that's always in the comments saying, "Hey, you got one more year, buddy. You got one more year." I look at some of the players that we had. What's the young lady that was from Fort Smith?
Jersey. Wolfenbarger.
I just don't understand how her and some of the other young ladies that he brought in through the portal, um, and the freshmen that I'm like, I don't understand how you can find a way to get all these ladies on the floor at one time. I just don't understand it.
I'm not gonna throw because I'm not gonna throw any one person under the bus talking player wise.
Gotcha.
But with some over the last year plus 2 years, whatever, there have been players on the team that don't show up on time for things, miss practices, don't show up for workouts, late to workouts, and the teammates see it, and the teammates try to call them out on it. And some of these players have been protected to a point, by Coach Neighbors. So it's one of those that, I guess discipline in a way comes into a lot of that.
Accountability.
Your teammates see it. Your teammates see you strolling in late or not showing up, and there's no repercussions for it. So it's one of those that we've all said it since before the season that an NCAA tournament win would be the probably only way to guarantee another season for them.
Correct.
And I mean, we're at the point now that, they're probably not even going to make the NCAA tournament.
And I'm going to tell you what's crazy. As much as I be on Neighbors' ass about not winning consistently and not recruiting legit bigs in the paint to compete with some of the best in the league, the LSUs, the South Carolinas, etc., I really like this team. I really like the team. So I would just hope that coach has whatever it takes. Like I said, just roll the dice, coach. Figure it out. Like I just feel like it's a burden on Hunter Yurchek to possibly have to replace 2, maybe 3 coaches after this season. Yeah. So I'm just like, let's get it together. Like I said, I really like the ladies team. They really do a great job. They outstanding on their hustle. And I really think it's another young lady that's playing very well, but
Talia Scott's been out with injury.
Right.
So, that hurt. We had other I mean, he's been rolling with 6 or 7 players for a lot of the season.
Right.
Because of injuries. But that's still, those things are going to happen. So you've got to figure it out.
Part of the game.
And then today, Michaela Daniels' senior day, and she got thrown out of the game. So, it's one of those. It's one of those things that was crappy reffing on both sides, but the fact of the matter was, you had a chance to win the game and you let it slip away. And then you got number 1 South Carolina coming in on Thursday night.
Yeah,
they about to beat the brakes.
Yeah, coach. Yeah, coach. If you have to send one of these young ladies just to give a hard foul, I'm not mad at you. You got to do something because you don't want to lose by 30-something. South Carolina's undefeated. They've been undefeated since the end of last year.
28 or 29-0, something like that.
In a row. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to watch them play.
Dawn Staley is her when it comes to women's coaches.
Absolutely. I'm gonna jump into some of these comments and then we can continue on. For the Mitchell, I've gotten back. Okay, got that one. Wish we still had Jackson Robinson. He's killing it at BYU. Yeah. Jackson Robinson, we always knew that. Well, we looked at his high school game and looked at what he potentially did when he was with the Razorbacks. He was one of those guys that can stand in the corner and shoot it. And I think one of the things that we talked about with him and Pinion was the defensive liability part of it. Yes, they can shoot the 3 when they're open, but the defensive liability portion is something that does not stand for, and will pull you as soon as you make or miss a shot. So it is what it is. I just want to see Devo late night gym photo. Haven't seen that in a while, and see like 2 or 3 other guys in there with them. That would mean that they're working together.
Did Jackson followed KK and went to A&M though after Arkansas, didn't he?
Right.
And then it didn't work out there, so then he went to BYU.
That's what it was.
But but it's taken him 4 years, and he's finally got it together.
Yeah. I've realized, I know we're in the era where everything is, I like to call it a microwave society or a McDonald's society. It's just go, and it's no time for development like it used to be. And we know when we came up watching the game, guys were awarded for being seniors. And then, like I said, for us in this current era, we had the COVID year, so guys had an extra year to be able to play a sport. But it's so many guys that just come and go and are young and don't get developed under one coach. So then they're going coach to coach, whether it be portal or say it didn't work out, whatever. Hell, even Stickman did the same thing. We played against Stickman in Missouri.
Mhm.
He's still the same guy.
Well, and I look at like the NBA just needs to go ahead and open it back up to high school graduates.
Yeah.
I mean, you have the choice now. You got what, 2 G League teams that you could go to, or you're going to go get rented by a university. And it's one of those things. If you can play in the league, you can play in the league. Yeah. So let these kids go. If they don't get drafted, put it back to how it used to be. You entered the draft, you didn't get drafted. Now you're shit out of luck.
Right.
You got to either go overseas or work your way back, or go get a 8 to 5, or go just college on your own. So
look, I'm glad you said 8 to 5. This whole 9 to 5.
I don't
know nobody who go to work at 9 o'clock. I really don't. The day is already started. You're 2 hours late in the day. Time is up for Neighbors. Okay, you see it too. All right. Yeah. Let's be honest. Neighbors is a bump. Okay, I wouldn't take the personal shots, but that's your opinion. Said DP dropping hints 2 to 3 coaches. Matt Hart, can you confirm? I don't know if Matt can really confirm. It's speculation.
I mean, you can't confirm it right now because it hasn't happened, and you have to wait for one, let's say, university to make a decision, whether it be our coach or some other coach, and then the dominoes start falling. Because, I mean, I'm hearing, UCLA, Louisville, all looking for coaches, and then it's just going to start from there. And then you may have other, it's you can never tell. It just, there's all types of scenarios. And eventually maybe a coach doesn't want to go to that place when they have the opportunity. So it's all types. But yeah, there's a lot of smoke still out there about Muss possibly leaving, and so we'll see.
Let's also look at too, like, those rumors and whatnot started around the same time as the other, when all the turmoil was surrounding the program, and you don't hear really much about. And of course, I mean, teams are now getting ready for March, so I get it. Things die down, but at the same time, you just don't hear all the chirping. So everybody's kind of moved on from it.
That's interesting. You win 2 games back to back. I haven't heard anything about hair color or fingernails. Interesting how that just goes away when you win. Either way. All right. So Pro Hogs. I did see the other day that Amude signed.
Stanley Amude signed an official 2-year contract with the Pistons. So it's no more 2-way.
That's what
I didn't see the details of it, but it's going to be more than he was making in the G League.
Yeah.
So he now doesn't have to worry about the back and forth. Jordan Walsh did get sent back to the main Celtics. That's one of those things that's tough for Jordan coming into a team like Boston. As I'm not going to call them stacked, but as many good guards as they have.
Right.
He's put in a situation that he can learn from them, but he's not going to get a whole lot of time.
Right.
So, it's one of those things. If Golden State, Moody worked his way to just being, a solid role player when Steve Kerr actually decides to play him.
Right.
I'm still shocked he didn't get moved. But
for the trade deadline, that was interesting.
It's one of those things. I heard another point of view the other day, and it was kind of like, unless it's a dire situation that the player just absolutely wants out, it's more in the player's favor to wait until the offseason, because then they have more of a say of where they go.
Gotcha.
So it's not just the rushing before trade deadline to move somebody. Now, somebody that worked out in their favor, Daniel Gafford, finally got the hell out of Washington.
Big time.
Yeah. And he's had, let's see, I think he's appeared in 4 games so far, because then they had the NBA All-Star weekend, so that was like a week off.
Trash.
But 19 points, 16 points, 10 points, 4 points. So, I mean, not getting, I would say, the minutes that he was getting in Washington, but he's on a better team. He's already a force for that team.
Correct.
So it's one of those, it works out well for him. And yes, the NBA All-Star Weekend is just, they need to stop.
Yeah.
If you're not going to go back to the 90s, 2000s, go back to the 80s, whatever, that, you know, and I get it. We don't have a Magic. We don't have a Jordan. We don't have a Kobe. But, you know, back when games were actually competitive.
Yeah.
You know, listening to, I don't know what all podcasts everybody listens to, but hearing a lot of the former players talk on All the Smoke and even the Pat Bev pod, he had Richard Jefferson on the other day. I mean, these guys think it is trash,
Right,
for what they're doing to this game.
Yeah. At this point, with the dunk contest, shout out to my man Macaroni, Mac McClung. Hey, Mac. But see, I was on Mac when he was in high school, and I was like, I ain't seen a white dude dunk like this. Like, I seen a white dude be hooping, but this dude, he was nasty with the dunks in high school. So when he went to Georgetown, I followed him at Georgetown. And I hate that he went G League and went in and out the league. You know what I'm saying? I know it was at Orlando.
He's too small to be in the NBA. I know that's his dream, but he's too small.
Hey, man. And that man is making the best out of his situation.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
When
absolutely. And those judges tried to do everything in their power to not let him win.
They did. But I was like, why the hell is Jaylen Brown in a dunk contest? Motherfucker, you don't even dunk good in the regular game. Why are you in the dunk contest?
So he barely cleared a 5'3" influencer that was sitting down in a chair. I mean, and then you had Mac McClung that fucking has jumped over Shaq.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
without pushing or anything.
Oh yeah.
Full clearance.
Cleared him.
Yeah, Mac nasty with these dunks, man. So I really like him. But I get what you're saying in that aspect. Got a chance to watch BP today, Bobby Portis. Because they played Bobby Portis and Pat Beverly on the same team.
I love it.
I love it. I love it too. And I know that Milwaukee has been going through some things with the coaching change and trying to figure it out. But I'm looking like, Dame Lillard, do you see how many threes you shot to win a 3-point contest? If Dame Lillard played like he did in Portland at Milwaukee and stopped deferring to Giannis for every shot, they can make another push. They got a nice role players and bench players.
They need
I like Milwaukee.
Doc Rivers out of there.
Yeah, Doc Rivers just be falling on jobs. Like
Giannis keeps picking them, and he's doing what LeBron did.
Facts.
His coach doesn't work out. Oh, you gotta go. I want another guy. Oh, he don't work out.
I was listening to Pat Bev the other day, and they were talking about Team USA because, you know, coming up, you have a lot of these stars that said like they're going to do it.
Right.
And I know, you know, Pat Bev's wanting to be a part of it. He's wanting to put his name out there. He's wanting a medal, whatever. He even basically was laying it out with Richard Jefferson. And he was like, more or less, that he knows that he's not going to get into the game, but put him on the team just for practice. Because he was just like, I'll pick a motherfucker up at 94 feet and make you work. And that's what he does. Like people say, like, oh, I read today, somebody was just like, oh, Patrick Beverly's a bum. And I was just like, yet he's done what he's done for this many years, still in the league, and he's still an asset to teams that he goes to.
Gotcha. So check this out. We're going to our next topic. It says Forever Cello. That's the name that's on the thing. Says not that it's important at this time of the year, but think we may stay at number 2 in D1 baseball.
It's a possibility. I didn't.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I didn't think that we would go up to number 2 after losing that one game, which I know series matter more than single games, but I didn't expect us to go up to 2 after losing to James Madison.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one of those that some of the teams around us, below us, lost a game here and there. So it's one of those things I don't think you'll see a whole lot of movement.
Right. Well, I'm just hoping for this year that whoever is hurt, they just get hurt on the front side. So when it's time to make that good old stretch for the SEC, because I looked at them like the SEC is loaded again, and not even considering the fact that David Horn recruits very well. He gets a great roster on the field, where he puts out a great product. But it seems like every year, like one of our main pitchers or something, is out for the damn season or out doing the main stretch where we actually need a closer. So I'm hoping guys can stay healthy for the most part. And I think coach can coach him up to get the results that he needs. Just hoping that I'm praying for health this year. We got to win something. We got to be phenomenal at something. And I'm one of those guys that I like when we win. Of course, we all know football brings in the money. Basketball is probably the most polarizing sport. You get a chance to see the athlete's face or whatever. I'm one of those guys that I watch softball. Yeah, I watch softball, and I watch the women's game. I watch women's basketball too. So those are two sports that I really watch. But of course, we all hope football does what it needs to do next year, so we can continue on what we want to do, and push forward. But in this baseball game, we won against James Madison for the series, lost the game, right?
Yeah, last series, yeah.
Right.
3 out
So
of 4.
what's next for Dave Van Horn and the Diamond Hogs?
We got Grambling on Tuesday, and then our weekend series is against Murray State.
Gotcha.
So that'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Is there anybody that you guys are looking at right now that could potentially be the guy out of the blue that could potentially be the guy you're like, hey, he may not come back next year. He may be a second round type guy.
I think it's harder to say in baseball. I think it's one of those things that I don't know where, and this is my fault. I don't know what year Hagen Smith is.
Gotcha.
I think he's a junior, and I'm pretty sure he's at least a junior. And he's gonna be gone.
He was already on people's radars, teams' radars, and then after the 17 strikeouts, was it last night or when it was last night?
Friday night.
Friday. After the 17 strikeouts, you start seeing other or major league teams like retweeting it or posting about it. You're just like that. He's now up to a first round potential pick. So
we got it.
I don't think there's anybody necessarily out of the woodworks that I could say right now. There's already some of the transfers that have disappointed me in spots, but I look at it like we're 7-8 games in. There's 55 games in the regular season. We got a long ways to go.
Yeah, it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint. So definitely got a slow roll and just hope that they can put some wins together, some series together, and come SEC play. I think it's going to be some great matches, some great games versus some opponents. So Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU. Hell, who was that?
A&M's supposed to be pretty good this year too.
Yeah, somebody threw a no-hitter the other night. I was looking like SEC is just loaded again, so you just never know what you're gonna get.
Oh, and shout out to Arkansas softball for throwing a perfect game the other night.
Yep,
that's what's up. That's what's up. Softball squad.
Yep.
Speaking of perfect game strikeouts, how many did we total up for the entire tournament? Do you know?
We had 23 that first night.
Set a record.
Then we had 22 the next night.
Okay.
And then I think today, I don't know. I think we were at like 15 or so today. I'd have to look up that, but because I want to say our starting pitcher today ended with like 14 or 15.
He had 10.
Or was it only 10?
Yeah, he got pulled in the fifth, I think. Though. So he had 10 with 1 base on ball. That was it. Yeah,
so 17 strikeouts on Friday night reminds me of Hart back in college. That's what Rick said. That's what Rick Simpson said. Wait a minute.
Wait, Matt.
I didn't play in college. I played Little League and threw a no-hitter, but
Little League.
A long time ago. Yeah, Little League, man.
Man, you sound like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith.
We're about to dive into the archives.
I went to basketball and football after that. So.
Okay. Someone in the comments says Stovall will be back in a few weeks. He will be solid then. Absolutely. Dylan Carter will be back too. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan Carter's mom who was in Hog HQ and gave everybody an update on one of the posts last night.
That's what's up.
You know.
Wait a minute. So Rick said with the Hart comment, he said that was with the girls though. 17 strikeout. Damn. Hey man, it be your own people, man. It be your own.
He gonna
shots
get it.
fired.
He gonna get it. I know who that is. He gonna get it.
Yeah. All right, so we got baseball in. All right. Any chance, Mr. Hart, you got some information for us? You might want to share something for us to look into.
as far as football?
Mm.
Well, I'm hearing some rumblings.
Wait a minute. Wait. Anybody else recognize when we get to this portion that Matt does this whole deep breath thing? When
It's how I want to say it. I just start,
Well,
I
got
start.
you. Go ahead, big
I think
dog.
we
How
should
am I gonna say this?
clip together. We need to clip together every time Matt does this.
Go ahead, big dog.
All right, so I've heard a lot of rumblings that, for people that don't know, Georgia's looking for a running back coach, and I'm hearing a lot of rumblings that Jimmy Smith is near the top, if not the top of that list.
And I don't like that shit.
I don't either. He's pretty much our best recruiter, if not arguably the best recruiter.
Yeah.
And the rumor is that I've heard, confirmed or not confirmed, but heard by multiple sources that everybody trusts, that it could be it's between him. It's a short choice. We'll see. That's the guy at Texas. That they've already started throwing out names if Jimmy Smith leaves. Of course, we know how the names are when they start flying out.
The first guy,
Usually, I knew you were going to say it. Yep.
Yeah.
So I've heard stuff. Tim Horton was a name thrown out.
Isn't that
A
coffee in
guy at the
Canada?
Dolphins.
Cycle, copy paste.
Yeah. And I mean, Tim Horton was a good running back coach, so I
Makes
wouldn't
good
be opposed
coffee.
to him coming back. But I mean, it's going. If Jimmy goes, it's obviously a upgrade, a promotion, whatever you want to call it. It's a step up for him to go to Georgia, and so you can't knock him for doing that if the opportunity comes. Because I mean, he could be looking at a national championship first year. But he has definitely helped us and given us a lot of a lot of players that we probably could have lost to other teams. He's reeled in, and so if anything, people need to be appreciative if he does leave.
So what's interesting to me about this? Like we had this conversation via text amongst each other. I am a big fan of Jimmy Smith. I like his style. I like his swag. I like his demeanor. I like the fact that he's a great recruiter. He can relate to the players on a different level. Let's be clear. Even though we haven't had the most promising seasons, running back is one of the positions that has been consistent in bringing in nice talent. So that's the one thing that bothers me. The other side of it, when I look at it from a business standpoint, he is also he's also considered an associate head coach. That's part of his title at Arkansas. So when that happened, when the whole situation happened with the Dan Enos leaving, I was wondering why he wasn't chosen to call plays. And he was a high school guy. He called plays, so I didn't understand what that was about, and why Kenny Guy was chosen to do so. Maybe that was behind the scenes situation where it made sense for those guys on the staff to do that. But that was kind of interesting for him to have that title and not be chosen immediately to be able to step in as the play caller. The other side of it is, from the Georgia standpoint, if I'm Kirby Smart, I know that this guy had a powerhouse in high school. I know that he was a powerhouse head coach and won championships at Cedar Grove. So I know he has a Georgia connection. I can also look on a roster and see where he's recruiting running backs or athletes and being a lead recruiter that's at Arkansas. And I can look at that. Tashard Choice is currently at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Georgia. He's from Georgia as well. I met him back in the day when I was an educator, but he went to Lovejoy High, and then he ended up going to Georgia Tech as a running back. So for him to part that job and to go into UT at Texas is a hell of a thing for him. Texas always keeps some running backs, whether they relevant or not. So both.
Well, I mean, he put two running backs from Georgia Tech into the NFL.
Gibbs.
I mean, he had Cottrell as one, and then Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. And
so
about it, he stepped in.
And I mean, he granted in Texas he has, and in Georgia too, he would have anybody he wants, essentially.
Right.
You've got the money, you've got the name, you've got the works.
Right. So a lot of times you got to be clear. So you can fall into a situation where guys are going to Texas because it's Texas. Guys are going to Georgia because it's Georgia, right? So having a relationship with those guys and be able to offer all the amenities that these guys offer the exposure those guys have to offer. I definitely understand that. And as you said, Hart, it would definitely be an upgrade for him as far as pay and as far as status on his resume. So
Mm-hmm.
I understand that part of it. Like I said, I'm just a big fan of him on his roster. And I look at it long term for me and my thought process. Coach Pittman, you don't need nobody else to leave your staff before the season starts. Like you need stability. Like it's like yesterday. Like you can't afford to lose another person and then try to mingle those people in to what you currently have. And let's be clear, it's possibly a 1-year deal. So that's what makes it even more frustrating long term for me in that regard.
Well, and we're about to be at, come April, spring football game. So you're going to lose one of your position coaches possibly now. It's one of those things that it's terrible timing.
In that regard, I people always talk about or complain about NIL and transfer portal, and I understand those gripes and those complaints. I don't stand on those grounds, but I do stand on the grounds on there should be a time frame to where all business should be handled so that all universities and all staffs are intact to maintain the relationship with the athletes that are committing to the school. It should be a time where these guys can say, "Hey, I got to play for the school that I'm currently at, and when this time comes available, I have this window to choose wherever I want to go or whoever wants to pursue me." Same thing with coaches. I think it's unfair that coaches can move and shake and bake and go make money, and all of a sudden the kids get criticized when they want to do the same thing. And a lot of times, let's be clear, they sign with a school because of the coach, not because of the school.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, we've seen that. Just look at the Arkansas players that have gone to UNLV. Now, granted, some of that is getting on elsewhere, but a lot of that too is relationship built with Barry Odom.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know if y'all have seen
Carolina.
it. South Carolina, yeah. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Just speaking on NIL, Tulsa's coach has been had several quotes, but he didn't. I don't think he called the players out by name, but there was a transfer player that was essentially asking for $6,000-7,000 a month.
That was a basketball team, though, wasn't it?
No, it's football.
Okay, go ahead. I think
but his basically pitch to people is like, don't talk to them about money, which they're not supposed to be anyway.
Mhm.
But you're coming for an education, you're coming for this, you're coming for that. But this is what these coaches are getting, as players coming in with their hands out. You just went to a team that went 4-8, and you're asking that coach for $6,000 to $7,000 a year.
Right.
And your reasoning was because of who you are and that you have a girlfriend and that you have a dog. That was the reasons in that text message.
I remember that. And
Yeah.
the guy said, what advice would you give me? He said, the first thing I would do is say, get rid of the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of the girl. Yeah.
Yeah. Get rid of the dog. All right. Couple of comments real quick. Bible verse Matt. Bible. So apparently, Matt, that comment comes from. So you know exactly what that means. That's an inside joke.
No, it was when I posted. All right, let me explain that whole thing.
Oh, yeah, when he posted
the
right.
Yeah, Proverbs 21:19. I posted.
Did you not get me texting you about it?
I got everybody texting. I just thought people were thinking. I thought I posted it on my own page. Is what I thought I did.
Oh.
Because I saw people acting, kind of sad. It was Valentine's Day, so I just thought I'd be kind of humorous and post something out there, and I didn't realize I posted it in the damn group. So everybody thought it was, a hint towards maybe Musselman's wife or something. I'm like, no. So everybody was, including you, Adam, were messaging me football questions if I referred to that.
Also, though, in my screenshot that I sent you at the very top, I have everything.
He got receipts.
It says Hog HQ at the top of it.
I didn't pay attention to that.
I keep receipts.
Yeah, I screwed up, y'all. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Hey, but it gave you ideas.
There you go.
For the future.
Praise the Lord. Like, another user says my football season tickets went up after a losing season. How can we not give this man a raise? Hey, that's interesting. The tickets went up.
I think he's at like 350,000 a year.
The tickets went up, but the stadium looks the same. And
No, but we got to pay for that rooftop bar and all the stuff that they previously did.
man, spend that. Go buy a 5-star.
Just wait till basketball when they do those renovations.
Man,
And
look,
downsize the arena.
Yeah.
that's gonna be crazy. That's one of the things that we known for is the Rutgers environment and Bud Walton. So hopefully, Hunter Yurchek figures this out if he's still here. All right, especially with spring football, absolutely. With it possibly him leaving, I think we need to hire JJ Metters. Is it Metters? That ain't his.
Yeah.
It's Metters. I thought it was Metal. Okay, JJ. So little JJ in some sort of role for recruiting. He has the best talent in Arkansas and Texas. I do know he was doing like camps. He was doing a lot of receiver camps and skills camps. We talked about this on the side.
Last night.
And one of the things that we talked about was like, why don't we have Arkansas players on the doggone staff? It makes no. I don't understand why. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. I wish somebody could explain to me. Having that connection, you want the players to stay committed to the state, yet still you don't have anybody that's valuable, that you feel valuable, to add to your staff that's from the state or from a current Arkansas team. It doesn't add up to me.
Well, we've talked about it before all this really started. And then, it was kind of reiterated when we had Harold Harris on.
Mm-hmm.
And just from what we've seen, I mean, you're looking at, I think right now is this time that we're seeing a lot of former players, just athletes in general, become coaches in some capacity, especially in the state of Arkansas in the high school games. But you're seeing a lot of these. I mean, Tashard Choice is a prime example,
right?
Of not even 10 years removed from the league, but he's already been running back coach at Georgia Tech, now Texas. Potentially is going to move on to Georgia if that works out. But why are you not going after some of these players, former players that these kids know,
right?
And these guys are good coaches. Or, they want to be ambassadors for their former team or for your state. And which Casey Dick hasn't made at Fayetteville High School right now. State championship and the players he's getting, the school choice program or in the state of Arkansas. So high school players can go wherever they want. So he's going to have it made for a while. So it's one of those that he could be feeding players to the University of Arkansas.
So, Adam, somebody is listening to you right now, and they said, we had that with Darrell Lawkins. Well, we all know how that worked out.
Well, there was.
We had that with Brandon Allen's dad, too.
Yeah, Coach Allen.
So I look at it, though, from the old school mentality. Not taking anything away from Allen or Loggins or what they did for the state, the program university, but we're getting into this time frame. I mean, even like we've talked about with Bobby Petrino, these kids' parents remember Bobby Petrino at Arkansas. These kids don't,
right?
So you start having these former players that are recent. It's a little bit, it connects with them a little bit more.
Yeah, it's something to be said to say, hey, the guy that's recruiting me, I can go on YouTube, even though I didn't see him play. I can go on YouTube and watch him in a Razorback uniform, ball out, and a skill guy. It speaks volumes. I don't know if Coach Allen's film is on YouTube. I don't know.
But you know who I can look up right now? Chris Gregg, who's wide receivers coach in Springdale, I think.
There you go. Yeah. So hell, Harris.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of guys who are in the profession who deserve an opportunity. There has to be some type of program where you can get these former players involved.
Well, we saw, the likes of Grant Morgan go off to Illinois with, Bielema.
Right.
And it's just, you're getting your guys that were here go. I mean, that loyalty to the coach, like we talked about with transfer portal. He went to the guy that recruited him and that coached him, or the guy that recruited him and coached his brother.
Correct. Yeah.
Well, let me take it a step further, though. If I recall, Harold Harris said that former players that wanted to come back and stand on the sideline had to pay. And I think that's absurd. That's part of the reason why you may not get people to come to your school. But if you had McFadden and, any other player you could think of that was hanging out on the sidelines like Miami does, when back in the day, you'd see all their players hanging out. That's how they recruited them, because they were hanging out, talking to them all the time.
Right.
That's how you build connections, and they can teach them other stuff that they learned from the NFL.
Absolutely.
Could be very valuable to them, and we're missing out. We're too focused on the dollar, and if we focused on the people a little more, we might get a little more results.
The
Man,
money would follow.
Run for office. I hear you.
Well,
But-
and hey, say what you want.
that's
Say what you want to say about. And I know that it's this coach has been beat with a dead, or whatever the phrase is. Anyway, the horse is dead, Larry. Okay, but we saw what Coach Prime did in Colorado. Just the people that were on the sideline.
Correct.
Exactly.
His former teammates, whether it was college or pro, etc. So, there's that whole brain. I mean, you go into it and it's a different type of environment, but it's people that these kids look up to, or they know who they are, so they're going to listen to them.
Yeah, it's marketing. It's branding. Like I said, before I got on with you guys tonight, I'm scrolling through X, aka Twitter, and I seen at least 3 or 4 Ole Miss tweets. And I'm talking about they got the latest music with all the different uniforms on. And I know to the guy who's in his 70s, like, just stick to traditional. But the young people that you're recruiting that you want to see on the field, that's what they like. They like this type of music. They like these type of uniforms. So it's for the recruits at the end of the day. But they are on it when it comes to marketing and advertising. I've never seen like Texas A&M do marketing in regards to
Well, the NCAA has laid another hammer for transfers.
They're too busy doing this shit.
Yeah. NCAA put out another memo that so these transfers, when they go visit, they can no longer take the photo shoots in the uniforms.
Yeah.
They can no longer have their hotel rooms decorated. And any cookie, cake, snacks, get whatever, has to be handed to them at the lobby before they go up to their room. Because nothing can be in the room.
Right. That's crazy.
I mean, we're getting to, I think the NCAA is doing whatever they can to give everybody, every team, every coach, every whatever, just a big middle finger, when all you have to do is fix your issues with the transfer portal and the NIL. Cap it on both sides.
Yep. And
that's all you got to do.
But at the end of the day, how they work is, it's almost like, you ever seen a little old reel where it's like the fisherman guy and say, oh, too late. You almost had it. It's like the NCAA throws the stuff in our face. Here goes NIL. Here goes transfer portal. There's no rules on it. So us as fans, amongst our teams and amongst the landscape, we all sit here and go at each other's neck. This team is doing that. Oh, they're cheating it. We fighting each other. Meanwhile, the NCAA is just sitting there with their legs crossed, making all the money.
Because we're talking about it year round.
There you go.
So they're now competing with the pro sports.
Right.
For the time and attention and whatever. I mean, even with, the college football, EA's game coming back out, for forever it wasn't going to happen. Then we get it's going to happen, I think, last year. Then it didn't happen because of lawsuits. They got all that worked out. Then they finally got their settlement. They're going to give every player in the game $600 and a copy of the game.
Yep.
Now, with that, players can do commercials, do ads, and get additional money from it.
Yep.
But everybody else who's going to be in the game, here's $600. Here's a copy of the game.
Yep.
I get it. EA made I think EA made last year $37 billion. They have the money to pay the players more. But at the same time, I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, hell, I get to be in a video game?
Right.
I mean,
that's a lot of kids too, though.
A lot of kids.
So
that's Division 1 and 2.
That's 85 players. They're not going to have any coaches in it. And I guess that just got down to pay and whatnot. So you're not going to see like Sam Pittman. You're not going to see anybody. But you'll have, it's one of those. I remember back in the day going on and downloading the rosters, to the Xbox to play. And I think they're working on if they're going to get FCS schools and whatnot in there. So we'll see what happens.
Jump back in these comments on the Jimmy Smith situation. Could start a domino effect with players he's recruited as well. Absolutely. We seen the guy, what was that, the number two guy, quarterback this previous year, signed with Alabama. Once Nick Saban left, he was let out of his deal. Now he's at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking like, and they quarterback room is loaded. Once again, we need JJ Meadows on the heel for recruiting ASAP. When is the projected return for DC? I'm missing his mom's comment.
Dylan Carter. So he started throwing in the bullpen in December. That's ramped up. I know that the week of Valentine's Day, they had it down for, I think, 4 more like bullpen trips before they fully released him. So I don't imagine that they'll just throw him out there. But I would say in the coming weeks, we're going to see him maybe see him a little bit going into SEC play to kind of get him game ready.
Yeah, send another comment that says Jared Moise, Moise. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. From what I saw, she said, this is talking about the same comment as mom. She said soon, as someone else said mid to late March on the same thread, and she didn't disagree. So possibly, but we need that young man to be back, and we need him to be healthy when he gets back. No need to rush him. It's like I said, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. So I'm not opposed to rush back. And man, let me just throw this comment out here. Great comment. Guys, thank you for doing these shows. You are seriously the best show around. We definitely appreciate that. I wish I had your name on here.
Wow.
That is William Brown.
Mr. Brown, Mr. William Brown. We definitely appreciate that comment. It definitely means a lot. We enjoy
Yes, we do.
Doing it for you guys.
And whoever reported him for streaming some just small live clips from the game this weekend, the baseball game, y'all can kiss my ass.
It may have not been. Was it a report or just Facebook?
They reported him. He can't go live for a month.
What?
So just showing a couple of little clips, like in between innings and stuff.
I just figured it
now
was.
He can't go live for a month.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. You know, we know that Adam has the potty mouth on here. When Matt says something, he mean that shit.
It pissed me off. Yeah.
Hold up. So you're talking about me, and then you're just gonna sit there and cuss yourself. I think it was more just caught people off guard when I did. Yeah, that's what it was.
Well, look, guys, we done had an hour in, man. Definitely, it's always great to be back. It's great to get with you guys and get on here and share for the people. I appreciate both of you guys for taking time out of y'all busy lives between work and family, everyday rigmarole, and just getting on here on Sunday, man, and just chopping it up with the people. Like I said, we enjoy what we do. We appreciate you guys for watching, tuning in with us.
We'll be having some guests coming up too.
Yep, we're gonna bring on some other podcast, live stream folks, media people, if you will, get their points of views. Like, you know, DP just said, just chop it up. That's what we do. We just sit here and chit chat. There's not a script. We try to keep a flow, but just shoot off the hip.
Yeah. Now Adam tries to send a script, but me and Matt,
we fly off of it.
About nothing. Sometimes it, you know what I'm saying, we can go off on a tangent, but it's all valid within the conversation that we're having. And like I said, we just appreciate you guys for joining us on a weekly basis when we're on and chiming in the comments. Adam, you got anything?
Nah, I'm good. We got basketball Tuesday night. There's stuff all week except for tomorrow night. So
Gotcha.
It's posted up in the featured section.
Where's
the top of the page?
Oh, okay. Hey,
I learned it the other day. That's what I wanted to share.
Gotcha. Matt, you got anything before we get going?
No, that's it. I appreciate everybody that gives us views and joins the group, comments, and just appreciate all the support and love that everybody gives.
Absolutely. And before we get out of here, don't forget that we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, and of course we're on YouTube as well. So just search Hog HQ and you can find us. Leave comments there if you're checking us out on the replay. Drop comments. I always jump in on a Monday and Tuesday and respond to all the replies. One last comment before we get going. High school state basketball tournament is happening this week.
Yep.
Is Fort Smith in it? Is Pine Bluff in it?
Northside's in it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think almost in it. I imagine they are.
Yeah. What are you trying to do?
I was just asking a question, sir. It
Mm.
wasn't no
Trying to
shade.
see if we're gonna go against each other or something.
No.
Well, I mean, the only reason Northside boys got into it is because they won their game Friday night, because they had 4 chances their last 4 games, and it just kind of was like, lost that game. Okay, you got to win the next one. Lost that game. Okay, you got to win. I mean, it was just, and they finally did it against one, I think Springdale Harbor, or one of the Springdales Friday night.
Gotcha. All right, guys.
So,
With that being said, it is a wrap. We'll catch you guys next time. Don't forget to chime in on the replays, on the comments. We will definitely check in with you guys and reply. With that being said, we appreciate you guys. Have a great night and a great week.
same bat time, same bat channel.